River Podcast.
Hello again, folks. A warm welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. John's here to go through the St Mirren game, all the latest news, gossip and rumours and everything else in between. How are you doing, John?
Aye, good. Aye, good weekend, eh?
Brilliant weekend, John. It was one of the best weekends in a long time. Put a few of the wee videos on the wee shorts. Have a wee look at them below the podcast, folks. People are loving what's going on just now. It's a lot of funny stuff over at Ibrox as well. There's Barry Ferguson, you know. It's just watching the videos, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of stuff going on, John. So let's get right into it. Wee bits of news and stuff just now. Congratulations to Greg Taylor and his family, his missus, etc. Just had a baby girl, so congratulations to the Taylor family, and good luck as well. So well done to Greg. Maybe that's why he's not been on the bench, etc. John, maybe he's been occupied by that. So congratulations having a wee baby girl to the Taylor family. Kenny Dalglish is his birthday today as well, John. He's 74 today. Kenny Dalglish, many happy returns to him.
Aye, happy birthday. Can't say any more than that. Well done, wee Greg. His wee kid there. That's good for him. Good news for wee Greg. Next thing he needs is a nice new contract.
Yeah, that's it, John. Contract would be lovely as well, wouldn't it, to get Greg signed up. Can't see it happening myself, to be honest with you, because I think also in the news today is that Celtic are looking to sign Schlupp on a year or two extension, John, to his loan. So what do you think of that? Celtic are interested in signing Schlupp on a permanent contract after his loan expires. That'd be brilliant news if we get Greg as well, but Jeffrey Schlupp, John, on a permanent contract. That would be amazing news for us.
Aye, I'd be happy with that. I mean, it'd be madness to turn it down at his age. What is he, 32, nearly 33? Contract for a big club like Celtic, playing every single week, winning trophies, playing in the Champions League. Take a wee cut in wages. I'm sure he's made plenty down in England. He doesn't need big wages anymore. Get a half decent wage at Celtic still, 25, 30 grand a week. Aye, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. And we'll talk more on Schlupp once we get into the preview of the post-match of the St Mirren game, because we've got a wee bit to go through there. That was a brilliant game, as you said as well, John. A brilliant weekend for the Celtic family. It really was. League more or less in the bag, to be honest with you. But we'll continue with the news just now, John. Let's continue with that before we get into the rest of the actual footballing action. Hibs, John, I've only sold 6,000 of the 7,000 tickets. So it looks as though there's going to be a public sale for the extra 1,000 tickets for anybody who wants to go along and see the Celtic versus Hibs game on Sunday. That is going to be some game, John. Hibs are really flying just now.
Aye, they are flying. I didn't think they were that great against Hearts, right enough. I watched that game. What a total snooze fest that was. And I read somewhere somebody saying it's the best derby in the world. You kidding me on? What an absolute snooze fest. But aye, Hibs are flying, aye.
Yeah, they're absolutely, well into third place now, John. They're sitting in third place, and it looks as though we're going to extend that position, maybe race away from Aberdeen and Dundee United, who are still dropping points, John, both of them every now and again. But Hibs, they've win after win, unbeaten in 16 or 17 games, so it's absolutely tremendous from Hibs. But yeah, they're coming to Celtic Park next Sunday, John. We will have a wee word on that, and we'll do a full preview of that on Friday as well. But that isn't going to be easy, John. There's no guarantees with that one, especially with the form of Hibs. But of course, Celtic are in tremendous form also, and we're at home. But Hibs bringing that 6,000 massive follow at the Paradise.
Aye. I thought they'd sold out their allocation, but look, 6,000 still a healthy allocation. But aye, that's going to give them a big lift as well. They'll come out the tunnel at Celtic Park. They'll look to their right and they'll see, a wee bit of the stand behind the goal taking, as well as that corner. Big crowd. That'll give the Hibs players a lift, I think, that.
Yeah, well, of course it will, John. And know that they actually need it, because they're playing really good stuff just now. I know you said, I didn't see the Hearts game, and I know you said it was a bit of a snooze fest, but I still got that 3 points, John. But it's not very often Hibs do beat Hearts, so it's a brilliant win for them. It was a brilliant win. Okay, so that's next weekend anyway. We'll do a full preview of that on Friday, folks. But they haven't sold the full 7,000 allocation. Okay, let's move on, John. Let's get into the big post-match reaction to St Mirren 2, Celtic 5. What a game it was, John. St Mirren really made a game of it, didn't they? They're a decent team, St Mirren. We did say that on the preview, that they were going to come at us, and they did, John. It's refreshing to see, very refreshing to see a team like St Mirren coming at Celtic like that. But it does leave them exposed, and that's why they conceded the 5 goals, John. But it just made for a brilliant game, and it was a very, very decent game.
I really enjoyed it, start to finish. I thought it was a good game, and we can thank St Mirren for that, because they battled hard for everything. I'm surprised St Mirren, what are they, sitting 8th in the league or something like that? 8th?
Yeah.
They deserve to be higher in the table than that. It's a season that St Mirren have had in it, up and down all season, putting in great performances against Celtic and the Rangers. Beating Rangers was twice. Is that twice? No, sorry, it was Motherwell beat Rangers twice, wasn't it? St Mirren will do that as well.
Yeah, I think Motherwell have drawn and beaten Rangers. St Mirren have beat Rangers twice, so absolutely brilliant for them. But of course, Celtic's a different level from Rangers, isn't it? So Celtic, you said on the preview, John, that their record against Celtic isn't great. Although they put in these very decent performances, it isn't great. Let's be honest. Their record against Celtic isn't great, and Celtic come away with yet another win. So let's get into it then, John. Let's get into the game. The game is, again, as I said, it was a very, very decent game. It was an early goal from Schlupp, it wasn't early, 28th minute from Schlupp. An Engel score, penalty goal right on half time. Yang on the 68th, he came on off the bench, Yang, and changed the game more or less. Gets a goal in the 68th minute. We'll talk about him later as well. Dyson Weeda on the 88th, and another goal from Yang in the 93rd minute, last couple of minutes of injury time. And then a couple of decent goals for St Mirren as well, John. This free kick from Declan John, beautiful free kick, John, in the 42nd minute, and then a sort of a lucky goal from Phillips when it bounced off the ground, hit it in off the ground and over the goalkeeper Schmeichel. We bit lucky, I thought, but they deserved it because they fought really hard, St Mirren. But let's get into the wee bits I wanted to talk about, John, because let's start with this penalty. But this penalty that St Mirren didn't get, John, I don't know if you remember this. I think Alistair gets his toe in the ball and then follows through with sort of studs, semi-high maybe. John, he does catch the player goes down, and everybody is raging about St Mirren not getting a penalty. Now, it's the exact same, John, the exact same incident that happened with Celtic against Bayern Munich at Parkhead. Do you remember? It was Engels, I think, it got filled in the box, but the big defender got the toe to the ball and then followed through. We both said it was dangerous play, but he did get the ball first. And no penalty for us, we both said, for the Celtic game against Bayern Munich. And the exact same thing happens at the weekend there, John, against St Mirren, and the Scottish media got off their head. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, for a start, the correct decision was made. Mm-hmm. If you get your foot to the ball before you touch a player, then it's no penalty or free kick or anything like that. He's got his foot to the ball first. It's no penalty. And I was watching the sports scene highlights, and Stephen Thompson and co, they were raging with that. Why is that guy on sports scene, by the way? Why is he actually been given the job as presenter on any channel? The guy's a halfwit.
He's the main anchor as well, isn't he? That's with an A, folks, anchor. He's the main anchor on that sports scene, John. It's unbelievable. All these ex-Rangers players get all these jobs. Half of them have now went to Rangers. That's what's laughable about it. And the BBC should be absolutely embarrassed with themselves with that, John. That is embarrassing. Half the BBC Sports Sound team have went to Rangers as coaches, and now they're left with ex-Rangers players like Thompson, John. Unbelievable. But yeah, I don't understand why he's got the main role on the sports scene, the TV channel, to be honest with you. But yeah, what was I saying, John? Because I never actually watched it.
He's bamboozled, all that stuff. He's bewildered, blah, blah, blah. Not one of that panel says Alistair Johnson's got his foot to the ball first, therefore it's not a penalty. They did say that, but it says, but he's dangerous. He's flying into a tackle. He's got his foot on the ball first. His intention was to play the ball. That's exactly what he did. Don't care if it was just the bottom of a stud that hit the ball. He touched the ball before he touched the player. It's no penalty. Thompson, what's the other ones that was on the panel that night? I'm trying to remember. Bell, was it Cammy Bell? And
another one.
What's the ex-Hearts player?
Michael
Stewart. Michael Stewart,
yeah.
Oh, Mikey and Tomo's they call each other. Oh, we think you're that Tomo. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's totally unprofessional. This is supposed to be the BBC. People paying their telly licence fee to this company. And they're employing absolute clowns like that, acting like Nez. We ain't get that, Tomo. I know what I mean, man. I know there, Mikey. It's...
Yeah, I think, no offence to the big man, but I think Pat Bonner needs to have a look at himself, because I was listening to his views on the St Mirren game. Very little credit for Celtic, all the credit going to St Mirren. I think he really needs to, you know, and that's another thing. They all say, your Derek Ferguson's, etc. Son, we, when they're talking about Rangers, we this, we that. I've not heard Paddy Bonner saying we once about Celtic, not once. So he needs to have a look at himself. They can say we about Rangers, I'm sure Paddy Bonner can say we about Celtic. So have a look at yourself, Paddy.
I know exactly what you mean. It's laughable, isn't it? All this wee stuff. But I need to bring back the old school at Murdo McLeod. Get Murdo back on it.
Yeah, Murdo McLeod was very good on the BBC. Brilliant. Okay, let's move on then, John. That's the penalty. Then that was that. The penalty wasn't given. It was a correct decision, as you say, and that was your man Dallas on the VAR as well. So that goes to show you how much it was the correct decision, John. That Dallas didn't give it, you know. So anyway, John, that was that. The penalty wasn't given, and Celtic come out comfortable winners 5-2 in the end. But the big change in the game was Yang coming on the park, John. Right, let's talk about Yang. He scored 3 goals, 2 were given, 2 were allowed, 1 was offside, I think. But the 2 finishes, John, were absolutely, I mean, he's actually having to bend his body backwards to get to the ball and direct a header on target and put it past the goalkeeper. That was 2 tremendous headers from Yang. And obviously, the crosses into the box were tremendous as well. But for Yang, John, for a winger to do that with his head and put it past their goalkeeper twice, and to have such an effect on the game is absolutely outstanding, and long may that continue for us.
Aye, it was a classy performance from Young. Well, we've always says the boy's got tons of ability. You can see everybody knows he's got tons of ability. It's just his end product that's always let him down in the past. You know, the final cross or whatever. But he came on against St Mirren, you're like, who's this we've signed? He was outstanding, out of this world.
Yeah. I mean, for a winger, John, to get to his head for the 2 crosses and adjust his body like that twice, 2 very similar goals, weren't they? But yeah, brilliant. The St Mirren defence had no chance with the finishes, and then the other goals as well, John. The penalty for Celtic there. What do you think of the penalty for Celtic? Dyson's broke down in the box. It's a stone wall, isn't it? No arguments there. Didn't hear it. The BBC said about that, but he tucked it away nicely, right down the middle. And then Dyson as well, John. He gets his goal also, didn't he? In the 88th minute, another goal for Dyson Maeda, Player of the Year. Dyson Maeda, John. What do you think? Player of the Year.
That goal was absolute class. Absolute class. Don't know what's happened to Dyson this season. He's finishing. Last season still scored a few goals, but he was missing a lot of sitters. But we forgave him for that because the work rate that he puts in. Amazing player. This season he's turned into a top striker for some reason. Everything he hits in front of goal seems to be hitting the back of the net, and candidate for Player of the Year. Absolutely, without doubt. So far he is. Player of the Year. There's only a few games left. Dyson, out of this world, isn't he?
That's the positive, John. Let's have a look at a couple of slight negatives then, John, because Big Adam Eder, John, I put a wee video on YouTube there, Neil Lennon talking about Adam Eder after the game, his performance levels, etc., etc. Couple of thousand views there, John. A lot of people agreeing with Neil Lennon. Nobody disagreeing with Neil Lennon, by the way. Nobody in the comments anyway. What did you think of Big Adam Eder? He's really got to start performing. He's really got to start being that player he was last season when we signed him on loan, John. We're just not getting that this year. Although he had still scored quite a few goals for Celtic this season, especially the two against Aston Villa. So I know the big man's got it in him. We just we don't know what's going on there, John. We don't know what's wrong, do we?
No, you've got to be up for the games like St Mirren away from home. You've got to be up for them as well as Aston Villa. You can't just show up for the big games and treat the so-called apparent smaller games. Every game's important when Celtic play for me. St Mirren's just as important as Bayern Munich to me. And Adam Eder, I don't remember him actually touching the ball all that time he was on the park. I honestly don't remember him even touching it, Xander.
Yeah. Sorry, John, you broke up there, but I got what you were saying. His touches on the ball, but he's the big man's just got to get more involved. And I think we did try.
His lack of touches, Xander. He never touched it.
Yeah, and we were going long sometimes in that game, John, because the Mirren were pressing us, and they just can't hold the ball up either, John. So yeah, it's got to be until the big man starts bagging in a few goals and ups his performances. Don't know what's going on there. He was okay at the start of the season, John. As I said, he scored in the Champions League as well. So he's not a bad striker. He's just off form just now, and we need the big man to get back on form as quick as possible. So up until then, John, we just want to see Dyson through the middle with Jota and Kuhn on each wing.
Definitely, aye. Well, look, Yang's got a case to start these games, isn't he? The way he's playing right now, he's absolutely flying, Yang. And he's banged in, 4 goals in the last 3 games or something like that? I can't remember exactly, but he's absolutely flying. Seriously, Brendan's got to think about maybe, could we possibly drop Nicholas Kuhn and start with Yang, with the performances that he's putting in?
Yeah, that's it, John. Kuhn as well. Brilliant player, been brilliant for us this season. Last couple of games, been off it slightly, I would say. Maybe I'm being a wee bit harsh there, possibly, but maybe the defenders are just closing him down more just now, or they're sort of reading his game a wee bit more. But yeah, as you say, there's an argument there for Yang to start these games. But I still prefer Nicholas to start, to be honest with you, because we know what he can do. I mean, look at the goals he scored this season. But Yang's got to get his chance as well, John. I think you're right.
He deserves his chance anyway to start against Hibs. And look, so far I prefer Nicholas Kuhn. I actually do prefer Nicholas Kuhn, but if Yang's going to be putting that kind of performance in future games, but we don't know yet because they've not been played, but if that's what we've got to look forward to, it's Yang for me all day.
Yeah, what a player he is. He's only a young boy as well, isn't he? He's only a young boy. So yeah, I think Brendan's getting the best out of Yang. I really do. I think Brendan's just a top-class manager, and we're getting the best out of Yang with Brendan in charge there. He's obviously working with him on the training field as well, John. So long may that continue. Also, it's just things are looking so good just now. They really are. Okay, one more player I wanted to have a wee word on before we wrap it up as regards to the post-match, John, was Jeffrey Schlupp, John. This guy, since he came in, he's not put a foot wrong. I've said it on the preview. He can defend, he can attack, he's solid in the air. You know, every time that ball goes down to our left-hand side, John, he's there and he wins that ball in the air. And we've not had that for a wee while. So I'm looking ahead to next season, John, to have Jeffrey Schlupp and Kieran Tierney as both our left-backs, John. It's just things are looking up. Obviously, we want Kieran to come in next season and to have an injury-free season. That's what we're looking for from Kieran. But if he does pick up an injury, John, we've also got Schlupp there. Kieran also needs to be wary if we do sign Schlupp, John, that Schlupp could be starting ahead of him. And that's just a compliment to Jeffrey Schlupp, John, with the performances he's put in this season so far.
Aye, definitely. His goal as well was a cracker, wasn't it? And off the post. I like Jeffrey Schlupp. I really like him. What I've seen so far, he's definitely the best left back at Celtic right now. And Kieran Tierney comes in, he's very injury prone, so I think you might find if Celtic do manage to sign him, he'll be the main man at Celtic, I think, at left back. Kieran Tierney maybe make some substitute appearances. I'm not sure, but we'll just need to wait and see how it goes with Kieran. He might remain injury free for the rest of his career, we don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, and touching on another, slight negative, I suppose, John. I think defensively, we're conceding too many. That's me just being greedy because we're absolutely flying. 16 points clear at the top of the league. You can't complain with that. We're in the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup and we've already bagged the League Cup as well, John. So maybe I'm being a bit too fussy here, but I see some cracks and a lot of gaps as well, John, to be honest with you, in that defence. St Mirren played the ball over the top many, many times and broke our defensive line, John. So Brendan just needs to get the training coaches onto the training field, John, and get that tightened up a wee bit.
Well, they should be aware of how teams play against Celtic these days. Every single team's doing it. They're just hitting a long ball and hope they can get something. A hopeful punt up the park, send a fast winger onto it, and teams are getting joy out of that. So we really need to tighten up there because we're getting exposed far too often. St Mirren got one against us. Aberdeen managed to get a goal against us. A few teams have scored against us, and Hibs as well, beating us 2-1. But the defence has got to tighten up. And I would want to touch on that tackle by the St Mirren player on Austin Trusty. Do you not think that was a booking for that? He walked away for that challenge, that player.
Yeah, that's it, John. It's I think Trusty's actually injured now, isn't he? He's actually picked up an injury. Don't know how long he's going to be out for, a game or two maybe, but I think he should be, I don't know, okay. He should be out for the Hibs game possibly, and okay for the Glasgow derby coming up very soon. A couple of weeks, that is, isn't it? Less than 2 weeks. So hopefully should be okay for that. But if not, we've got big Scalesy there to step in. But the foul, yeah, of course, John, it's a yellow card, isn't it? But,
Mandaron, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mandaron, yeah. As you say, he walks away from that. Absolutely no problem. It is a yellow card. What can we do? It wasn't given, but I suppose we've got to be happy with with them not giving the penalty against, Celtic, because the exact same as the Bayern Munich game, John. I did say that I saw them given. I did say that I saw them given. It was dangerous play, but he did get the ball first. And it's the exact same, John, with the Celtic game against St Mirren. I've saw them given. St Mirren. I've saw teams getting penalties for that. But yeah, I think your big man Mandron should have received a yellow for that.
Or more. I mean, he's went flying into that tackle with his elbows up and burst Austin Trusty's head wide open. And he's had to go off. And he wasn't even booked for that. To me, I was looking at that and thinking, why is that not even a yellow? He's went flying up, he's leading with his elbow right into Trusty and walked away without a booking. That's a red card for me, Xander. Tell me what you think in the comments, anybody listening. For me, nothing was says about it, but for me, I was raging with that. I'm thinking, he's no intention to play the ball there, and he's went flying in with his elbows up. That's a red card for me. And he's took blood, so it's a red card.
Yeah. Yeah, as I say, John, it's at least a yellow, isn't it? At least, how much intent was there. You've got to look at that as well. But yeah, John, that's it. He's got away with it. It's unbelievable. It happens all the time against Celtic players. We should be used to it by now, I suppose, John.
Yeah, he's a good player, Mandron, by the way. I like him.
Yeah. They've got full of decent players, St Mirren, John. They really are full of decent players. But no, John, that wraps that up. Then, John, no yellow card. He walks away. We've lost big Trusty for a game, maybe even two. But he should be back soon. Hopefully he'll be back sooner, actually, and we hear that he's okay for the Hibs game at the weekend. A wee quick word on their 2 goals, John. I know I've already had a wee quick word on it, but that free kick from Declan John was stunning. That was a pinpoint accurate free kick. That boy can hit a free kick. That was lovely.
It's something we don't have. When was the last time Celtic scored a goal direct from a free kick?
A long time ago, John. I mean, you know, who, I mean, I don't know if I've got a direct free kick specialist. Jota he can do it, you know, when he's on the park, but he's not been starting with Jota lately. So, you know, maybe Jota's your man for free kicks, but yeah, I couldn't tell you the last time he scored for a free kick direct, John.
Me neither. I think it would have. It could have been Jota maybe, but we need players that can do that. You know, I mean, the boy's only 18, 19 yards out, and he manages to get it up and over the wall. And Kasper Schmeichel's rooted to his line. I think it was a top free kick. Absolute belter that.
Lovely goal, John. Lovely. I mean, it's a goal against Celtic, but I enjoyed it because it was a lovely goal, especially when you see it in the slow motion. And then their second goal, John, the 48th minute, that big guy, Phillips, the camera kisser, as you called him. Very lucky, I thought that. I think that ball could have went absolutely anywhere, but it ends up in the back of the net, loops over the goalkeeper. You see it sometimes, don't you? But it has it into the ground from the 18-yard line, you know, and loops over the goalkeeper. Normally you get that closer to goal. So a bit of a fluke, that one. But it did make a game of it, I suppose, didn't it? I think another equaliser for St Mirren. But when, you know, John, we just got up the park to score again. That's the kind of team we are, John. But as I said 5 minutes ago, John, we just need to tighten up defensively.
Well, this is it. The goal was just a total fluke anyway. I mean, there's no way in this earth he meant that. There's no way in earth he meant that. Then he's sort of kissing the camera and all that. You know what I mean? As if it's an absolute screamer. You know, a wee bit premature with that camera kissing stuff, mind you, innit?
Yeah, you always say that, John, when you celebrate your goal, yeah, but don't go over the top because it's Glasgow Celtic you're playing. Maybe that's why they do it, because it's a goal against Celtic, John. It's you know, they can look back on that on the when they've retired and stuff, and you know, say they scored against the champions Celtic. You know, maybe it's something to do with that. But you know, keep your celebrations until the end of the game when you've won the game. You know, possibly like Hibs did. You know, Hibs, even their celebrations they weren't muted. They were, yeah, but they were sort of calmed celebrations when they beat Celtic, weren't it? It's the Hibs players. So that's the kind of thing you're looking for, John. You know, this running up to calm. I know it's a very trivial point, but you know, keep your celebrations in check. That's all I would say about that.
It was just a great game to watch. I mean, 5-2. I think the scoreline obviously flatters Celtic a bit. 5-2 because St Mirren were fantastic. I thought they were absolutely brilliant. But I think 5-2 flatters Celtic maybe a wee bit. But Brendan made the right subs at the right time, and once these subs came on, it was one-way traffic. Celtic were out of this world when these substitutes came on. They were unstoppable, really, weren't they? That changed. That was the game changer. The subs came on. St Mirren couldn't get anywhere near Celtic after that, and we dominated from that moment onwards. So, it was a thoroughly deserved victory, but maybe the scoreline flattered us a wee bit.
Yeah, especially with all the late goals. You know, a goal in the 93rd minute, you know, and a goal in the 88th minute. So 2 in injury time, more or less, John. So 3-2, 4-2, maybe a more realistic score, but 5-2, as you say, did flatter us a wee bit. But we'll take it, John, because obviously, let's move on, John. Let's move on, because obviously it was a game that if we won, it would have put us 16 points clear because of Motherwell beating Rangers at Ibrox. The big man we both spoke about getting the opener for Motherwell, big guy with a ponytail. Can't remember his name. Is Armstrong, is it? Big man Armstrong, who scored for Motherwell, John. Yeah.
That's the guy who scored against us, Big Wurzel.
yeah. He looks like a decent forward, him, actually. Big Wurzel, as you say. So that silenced, you know, the crowd. I listened to Barry Ferguson after the defeat, at Ibrox, John. You know, the fans stayed with us. All I heard was boos all the way through that entire highlights reel that I saw, John. Boo, 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 constant booing. Booed off the park, booed on at half time. But Barry Ferguson heard the fans staying with them. I don't know where he gets this stuff from. Actually, there's a wee video I'm going to be putting on today, folks, regarding Barry Ferguson. So look out for that. I always like my wee comedy videos, as you know. But John, that put us 16 points clear after a defeat for Rangers. Another defeat, John. That's 3 defeats in a row. And up next to Ibrox, they've also got Fenerbahce, John. So, you know, should be a tough fixture for them against Fenerbahce. We'll have a wee word on that in 5 minutes, folks. But to go 16 points clear, John, with how many games left? Is it 9? 9? 8? 9? Don't know, I'm not sure.
That's 9, Sander.
9, yeah. 3 wins, John, and we're champions. What a brilliant position to be in, and what a brilliant feeling, John.
That's amazing. 16 points is massive, isn't it? That's number 55 in the bag as far as I'm concerned. 3 more wins, league's over. That big boy Armstrong that plays for Motherwell, I think it was Carlisle he came. I'm sure it was Carlisle. That was his last team. Good on the big guy. He's always got a smile on his face, plays with a smile. He loved his goal against Celtic, and he loved the one against the Rangers even more, I think. Amazing. Yeah. Absolutely. I thought Motherwell were fantastic. Thoroughly deserved their win. Motherwell fans were loving it. They were doing the zombie stuff in the corner and all that stuff.
Yeah, they were also, sorry, John, they were also singing, I don't know if you saw the video of that, I saw it on Facebook. Somebody in the Motherwell crowd is singing the Barry Ferguson. They were all singing the Barry Ferguson song. So.
Well, the Rangers fans were all singing the Barry Ferguson song at the start and all that. You know, they had the soldiers coming off the roof and all that stuff on, what do you call it? I can't remember what you call some kind of military day that they have at Ibrox. And the soldiers are paratrooping off the roof and all that stuff. What's it all about? What is it all about?
I don't know.
It makes sense. What's that got to do with the game of football? What has that got to do with anything?
Yeah, no, that's it, John. It's quite funny actually, but no, they were put firmly in their place, and we talk about the football, John. That's you said there, the football. What's it got to do with football? Nothing. So we talk about the football. They can have soldiers fly through the air if they want, John, but it's all about. Sorry, it's all about putting that ball in the net, which they managed to do once, but they didn't do a command, John. Motherwell held on for the 2-1 win. And it was a very strong performance from the Steelmen at Ibrox, John. So well done to them, as you say. Congratulations to Motherwell. Brilliant win. And let's quickly run through the results over the weekend then, John. Let's quickly have a wee word on them before we do the comments. We're back to the comments this week, folks. So the results for the weekend: Ross County 1, Kilmarnock 2, Rangers 1, Motherwell 2, Dundee 1, St Johnstone 1, Aberdeen 2, Dundee United 2, Hibs 2, Hearts 1. That was your Saturday games, John. Then, one of the games was Sunday, wasn't it? There's a couple other ones I wanted to have a wee word on, John. Ayr United 4, Airdrie 1. So Bruni with a brilliant result against Airdrie, John. It sort of keeps them near the top of the league with Falkirk drawn. And Celtic Ladies got beat by Hibs. Unfortunately, Celtic Ladies 0, Hibernian 1. And no other result really we need to talk about is Celtic B beat East Kilbride 5-1, John. So the Celtic B team are flying just now. But the reason why I wanted to bring that up with the Celtic B, John, is the boy Cummings. He's been on the bench once or twice for us this season, but the boy Cummings bags himself another hat-trick, John. I think we need to see a wee bit more of this boy in the first team, John. Give him a few more wee run-outs as a substitute with 10-15 minutes to go for winning.
Well, I think once we get the league wrapped up, hopefully we can do that in the next 3 games, or before that if Rangers lose, any of their other games or whatever. I think it's Rangers next for us, isn't it, in the league?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's Rangers next in the league, and Hibs before that. Yeah, Rangers obviously got their double tie John, against Fenerbahce. And one of the ties, they go to Celtic Park 3 days after it. So, and that's their home tie. They play Fenerbahce at home, and then that's Celtic Park 3 days later, John. But we'll touch on that a wee bit later, John. This boy Cummins, John, he looks like a decent striker for us. I've not really seen much of him. I just saw that he bagged a hat trick, John. I'd like to see this boy get a wee chance. As you say, maybe once the league's wrapped up, there's maybe chances for some of the B team players then, John, maybe, possibly.
Aye, once the league's wrapped up, and I think it'll be sooner rather than later, once that's wrapped up, Brendan can bring a couple of the young boys in, give them a start, see how it goes. The rest of the players for the cup final and all that stuff as well, you know. Give them a wee half hour and then bring the young boys on for half an hour, I mean. Give them a wee chance, see what they're all about. But it'd be good to rest the players coming up to the cup final. Hibs will still be, well, we don't know if we're going to get to the cup final. That's a bit premature, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
We still need to get by Hibs, and we still need to get by the semis. We'll wait and see what happens there. We can talk about the Hibs game when the time comes. But I definitely think he'll play some of the younger boys once the league's wrapped up, Sander. Definitely.
Yeah, I hope you're right, John, because it'd be good to see this boy Cummins, even if he gets a game from the start, John. That'd be interesting. He's just banging in goals. I know it's against the likes of East Kilbride, John, and I understand that, but a striker's got to find the net no matter what level it's at, John, to be honest with you. Right, John, that's about it for regards to the results. There was another wee thing I wanted to have a wee word on. It was Queen's Park against Ayr United later tonight. MD wants to look out for that one or try and get it on your TV. Queen's Park against Ayr United. That sounds tasty, John. Queen's Park winning at Ibrox. Scott Brown's Ayr United, John, a wee chance to get 3 points there.
I will want Bruni to win that one, of course, but obviously we're all grateful to Queen's Park, and we wish them well after the Bruni game. But good luck to Bruni. It's a hard game into Queen's Park. I've not followed Queen's Park's results actually since they beat Rangers. I need to look that up and see how they've got on in recent times. But I know, good luck to Bruni. I'll maybe have a wee look for that. That might be on BBC.
Yeah, that's it, John. That'll be a good game. That'll be a very interesting game. It's in Hampden, John, or Lesser Hampden. So it's an away game for Ayr United. Maybe try and find that one myself. Right, John, I mentioned Fenerbahce earlier on. That's who Rangers have got in the Champions. They wish in the Europa League. Sorry, Fenerbahce, they're flying just now. 17 games unbeaten. Won at the weekend, 3-0 against Antalyaspor. 3-0 win for Fenerbahce at home. Cantor case. Really flying, John. But for any Celtic supporters, are going to watch that thinking that it's going to be a canter for Fenerbahce, John. They've got a lot of players out, unfortunately, for this one. Diego Carlos, he's out. I need to try and get his pronunciations right, John. Sammer, he's suspended. Fred, the guy who played for Manchester United, he's also suspended. Rodrigo, the centre-back, he's out. Ostergaard, he's out as well, John. Kapicic, sorry, he's out. Aziz, the centre-back, he's also out. And Ismail Jusic is out as well, John. So that's 8 players they've got out for the Rangers game. Rangers all seem to get the luck when it comes to Europa League, didn't they?
That's a lot of players missing, aye. They carry some luck when it comes to playing in that Europa League. So always teams that they're either not interested in the Europa League or their whole team's injured or suspended or they've just lost their manager. That's the kind of teams. Every single team they plays like that. Every single team. And obviously I never knew that. So this game's absolutely no different.
Yeah, that's it, John. I think the main one that's out there is the midfielder, Fred. It's very, very decent defensive midfielder, John. He's out. The rest were sort of out for the last game anyway, the 3-0 win. So they're still winning games, John, but you want them to have the strongest team possible.
Aye, exactly. I want a 7-8-0 for Fenerbahce. Don't know if we heard them, the Rangers fans singing "Oh Barry Barry" at Kilmarnock. What a difference a couple of days makes,
Yeah, that's it, John. And by the way, we can talk about Rangers because that's who we've got in the league next, and that's why we'll discuss them, because we want them to be as low as a morale as possible coming to Celtic Park, John. So I think 4 or 5 of the players were already long-term injuries anyway, John, but there is a couple of suspensions there that were playing with the likes of Samuel, Fred, and Aziz, John. 3 of them suspended. But it's more or less still a very strong team for Fenerbahce when they come up against Rangers. So good luck to them. Anyway, anything else we need to go through, John? I think that's us. We've covered all the football side of stuff. All we need to do now is go through some comments, John. We've not done this in over a week, so there was a lot of comments, on the slip video that I put on, John. There's a lot of people wanting him signed up, as soon as possible, and then it's come out today that Celtic are looking at a contract for him, so that's good news. A lot of comments on there. There was also a lot of comments on the Neil Lennon video, John. Nobody disagreeing with the Adam Ida forum thing that Neil Lennon said, so a lot of comments there, John. But you can pick where you want to pick these comments from.
All right, well, I'll start by saying Barry Ferguson's haircut's a cracker, an absolute belter of a bowl cut. I can't remember the last time I seen a bowl cut. Three Stooges, maybe.
Yeah, I put the wee post the Three Stooges didn't there as well. That got all sorts of likes and comments as well. Funny faces, It's just what Barry Ferguson has done is continued the hilarity that the Celtic fans have been getting from Ibrox, John, by Clement leaving. He's just continued it on.
Aye, certainly has. Barry Bolcut. Anyway, let's go on with the comments.
Yeah.
We'll start with James Doran. But we're on the Jeffrey Schlupp video.
Yeah.
James says he's another outstanding player for Celtic and is also versatile. And that goal he scored yesterday was outstanding. It was, James, an absolute belter of a goal. He is an outstanding left back. Aye, better than Greg Taylor, would you say, Sander?
Yeah, you've got to look at me, Greg. I don't know what's happening. Obviously, his contract situation's affecting his performances because his last few, he's not been his usual dynamic self. But me, Greg's a brilliant left back as well, John. He scored against Rangers. He scored in the Champions League also. So yeah, I think me, Greg, is a very decent player, John. But I think it's this contract situation, and maybe even Kieran come to the club as well, and then signing Jeffrey Schlupp. I think that's all getting on top of him. And it's maybe I'm wrong, but John, I think it's maybe affecting his performances just now.
It could be. It really could be, but only he can rectify that by putting in better performances. I don't think he ever really put in that many bad performances. Greg, I think he's a cracking wee left back, and somebody's getting a good free player if he doesn't sign that contract.
Yeah,
he's going to make a cracking wee left back for some team. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, he is. He's very well, John. He plays for Glasgow Celtic. He plays for the team that's dominant in Scotland, John, and he plays every game up until Jeffrey Schlupp arrived, John. So that's the type of player he is, and that's if he leaves Celtic, somebody is getting an absolute bargain.
Aye, well, you can't get a bigger bargain than free, can you? But
yeah,
aye, that's a good free signing, that one. Just a pity that he never signed a contract. If there was no place for him at Celtic, we could have got a good few quid for him, Xander.
Absolutely, John. But we'll wait and see what happens as the season rolls on with that one, John. There's not much left in the season, 9 games, and then his contract is expired, so he's not got long, John. But it doesn't look good, does it? It doesn't look good for Greg to sign a new contract. But you never know, stranger things have happened. Thanks for the comment, James.
I can't see it with Kieran Tierney coming in. And if they sign Schlupp, I can't see a contract getting signed by Greg Taylor. But we'll wait and see. Like you say, stranger things have happened. One club since 80. Thanks for that, James.
Cheers, James.
One club since 1888 says, what a left back this guy is. Masterclass Brendan. That is a masterclass. I think he's a cracking left back. I really do like him. Very, very brave as well. He doesn't shirk his responsibilities. He's right up there challenging for everything. He's got pace, he's got skill, he's got a pass in him, he's got a goal in him. I'm delighted with him.
Yeah, John, that interview that I put on YouTube and Facebook of Jeffrey Schlupp. I mean, our videos just now are hitting, the short videos are hitting between 1 and 3,000, right? The Jeffrey Schlupp interview, John, is sitting at 7,000. You know, the 6,500. Sorry, the Celtic fans just love him. They've taken to him. When he's taken to Celtic, he's settled in brilliantly, John. He's only played a handful of games. And the comments about Jeffrey Schlupp, there's been not one negative comment that I've read anyway.
No, he hasn't done anything negative, so you can't say anything bad about a player that hasn't put a foot wrong. He's been absolutely outstanding and a revelation at left back. So,
yeah,
aye, outstanding. Delighted with that.
Yeah, as am I. Yeah,
that's about 5 times I've said that. Anyway, thanks for that. Who was that? One club since 1888.
Yeah, cheers for the comment, pal. Thank you.
And John Vilmick. I'm just going to say Vilmick, there's a 1 in there. He says he's been very impressed by this guy from day one. Me as well, huh?
Yeah, from day one, John, as you said 2 minutes ago, the minute he walked in the door, you could see right away that he was decent. You could see that he was a top-class professional, a top-class player. You know, he had ability, he had skill, he could defend. You could see within half an hour of watching him that he was the real deal, John, and that's why the Celtic supporters want him signed up pronto.
Exactly, aye. He's a David Dickinson.
The real deal.
Yeah. How many times we've mentioned him a few times on this programme because of the referee with the same name?
That's right, yeah. David Dickinson, yeah, he has plenty of mentions, didn't he? Yeah, John, yeah, get him signed up, Brendan, and Peter Law. We'll get that guy signed up. I think I've put a lot of smiles on Celtic fans' faces, to be honest with you.
Definitely, thanks for that. Kegler Moon, I can never say that name, I don't know why. It says he was immense today. The way he strode past the last defender later on for Yang's header, he's outstanding. We'll do another couple of comments. Thanks for that, Kegler Moon.
He's Kegler Moon. Well,
I'll just quickly read another couple. David Bailey says, so happy for Jeff to get his first goal. Me as well, David. Fantastic goal and all.
Yeah, he's been threatening to score, hasn't he? He has been threatening. Hitting the bar, hitting him over the bar just by a couple of inches, threatening. For a left back, his efforts are very decent, and then he finally gets the goal in off the post, but they all count, and actually when the ball goes in off the post, it makes it look even better, doesn't it? So beautiful finish and just a brilliant player for us.
He's outstanding, Sander. I really, I'm not going to say it again. You know what my feelings are on the guy, but what a winter signing that is. Normally you don't get that kind of quality in the late in the January transfer window, and he's proved his all wrong. But what a signing that is.
Yeah. Sorry, John, I'm not comparing the players, right? But I'm comparing the situation. It's the exact same situation we had with Lubomir Moravchik. When he signed for Celtic, the Scottish press laughed him, tried to laugh him out of Scotland, and he turned into an absolute legend for Celtic. Running about the same age as well, 31, 32, and it's the exact same as Jeffrey Schlupp. Celtic signed him in January. He got laughed at because it was a free agent, 32-year-old free agent. You think the Scottish press would learn their lesson, and now he's turning into also a very, very decent player for us, John.
He's a mainstay in the team. He's keeping Greg Taylor out the team, a boy that's played for Celtic for 5-6 years. I don't know how long Greg's been there, but nobody's managed to push him out the team since Kieran Tierney left, and we Greg's found his cell warm on the bench. So he's an outstanding signing, and basically general consensus is just guys and lassies saying they want him to stay. Mickey Flynn says need to extend this man's stay. And Fear says write the check, Celtic. A serious operator is Big Schlupp. And Colden Douglas says sign this man. Derry says let's hope he signs for a couple of years. Davy boy, sign him up. Everybody's basically saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's it. And everybody wants the same thing, John. So that's hope anybody at Celtic's listening. I suppose all the other podcasts are saying the same thing, John. So yeah, but at least we voiced our viewers' opinions, John, on this podcast. There's a lot of views there, John. There's a lot of people leaving comments that want this guy signed up as soon as possible.
Well, if you're a Celtic fan, which I'm guessing you're listening to this podcast, let me know if you don't want Jeffrey Slip signed on a permanent. I guarantee you won't get one comment. He's just outstanding. And I never read one. There's a lot more comments, but I'm going to move on to the Neil Lennon video about Adam Ida. Regarding Neil Lennon's comments on Adam Ida, Justin Joseph says that's exactly what I have been saying.
Yeah,
James
that's
Doran's.
it. Sorry, John, just
Aye.
a wee on that. That's exactly what the commenter's been saying. People are, cautious about, slating any player at Celtic or having poor opinions against them or having, sort of a low opinions of any Celtic player because we're all flying as a club, we're doing really well. But you're allowed to voice your opinion if a player isn't performing, John, and that's exactly what's happening with Adam Ida. That's the reason why Brendan has not been starting him in every game as well, John, because he's not been performing. So Brendan's tried everything with him, putting him on the bench, starting him, but we're just not getting the same performance we did at the start of the season. And then he had the few games where the game before Aston Villa, then the Aston Villa game came up, he scored 2, and then he scored in the game after that as well. And now he's fell. We did say, John, a few podcasts ago, we didn't want him falling back into his shell, and that's exactly what's happened. He's fell back into his shell. He's maybe not happy with Dyson being played through the middle. I'm not too sure. I thought he would have started flying for Celtic, John, once Kyogo left.
Aye, but he obviously never realised how good a striker Dyson Maeda is. Look, if I'm a striker and I'm looking at Dyson Maeda, I'm thinking I've no chance of getting into this team with this guy there. I don't know. It's got maybe a bit more effort. I don't know, but like he says, Brendan's tried everything, and it's he seems to have been, his confidence is taking a hit or whatever. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either, John, to be honest with you. He might pop up in the Glasgow Derby and bag a couple and then bag a couple against Hibs before that as well in the Scottish Cup, John. We just don't know. We just want the big man to start performing.
We want every Celtic player to perform. We all love Big Adam. We just want him to get stuck in, become a Celtic legend like every player that we love. He's just got to start working harder at him. It's as simple as that. Anyway, we'll finish it off with James Doran. Again, James obviously a regular, so he gets some I was going to say we prefer James's comments, but that's not true. We like reading it because he's been with us from the start.
Yeah, James been a regular. A few of the regulars have fell away as well, so I don't know what's happened there, but James has been there from day one. So on you go, John. What's he saying?
James says Ida is slacking again, and the 3 up front for me are Yang, Maeda and Jota. And Ida on for the last 20 minutes, and hopefully that's the front 3 that will start against Hibs next weekend in the Scottish Cup. I noticed that James left out Nicholas Kuhn there. He prefers Yang up front, the new Xander.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you? Everybody has their own preferences. I just think Nicholas is he's got that wee bit more about him just now anyway, John. I know Yang came on and put in that performance against St Mirren, but I just think Nicholas is he's got it. You saw him do it in the Champions League many times, in the league, in the cups as well, John. He's maybe just blown a wee bit cold just now, but he will pick up the wee man. I'm 100% sure that the wee man will pick that up, and I think Kuhn will start against both Hibs and Rangers.
I think so. I think he's going to start with Kuhn and bring on obviously Yang as a sub. A lot of pace, Yang, a lot of skill, and he's got a finish in him. Another couple of comments from the podcast. Did the Rangers not say we can't guarantee fan safety at Ibrox? What are Celtic thinking about?
Well, what are Celtic thinking about? Because there's been no guarantees for safety at all, John. So if I went through all this before, we quick word on it again, John. There's nothing we can do about it. The decision's been made. With no safety at Ibrox, Sean, that's what I don't understand. Why is there no safety net? It's been put up for the Celtic fans going to Ibrox after everything that's happened in the past.
You need more than safety nets there, Xander. I don't understand now they can suddenly guarantee safety. When last year they were saying we can't guarantee safety. What is it they've done that they can guarantee safety? because the last game, I never seen any safety for the Celtic players, did you?
No safety. They can't guarantee it, John. That's the thing. They can't guarantee it. So I don't know where they're getting that from. There's no safety guarantees for any Celtic staff going to Ibrox, John, and we just need to live with it. That's the bottom line, I'm afraid.
Aye, that's the bottom line. We just need to live with it and see what happens. But I didn't want them anywhere near Celtic Park, and I think probably 99% of Celtic fans are the same. Next up was Roseanne Zander. Roseanne says, "What is that board thinking about? I can't believe they are coming to paradise." Talking about Rangers. My stomach is heaving. Added to that, Ferguson. My God, she says. Anyway, guys, I'm going to say 3-1 to Celtic and good luck to the boys. Thanks for that, Roseanne, who's one of our brilliant regulars as well, been with us from the start.
Yeah, she has. Yeah. I mean, the whole Ibrox thing, John. Even them coming to Celtic Park, you know, they're guaranteed the safety at Celtic Park, but the total opposite over at Ibrox, where there's been incident after incident, and no wonder our stomach is turning, John, because there's going to be incidents, I'm afraid. No player or supporter is safe at Ibrox.
Well, no, definitely not. 100% agree with you. And the problem that I've got with this, and I says this to you before, is the fact that Celtic had to end this. You know what I mean? Celtic had to say, the last time we played at Ibrox, they decided late on, no, we can't have Celtic fans, it's still no safe. Or the stadium wasn't ready or whatever it was. So Celtic's had to end something that they started, and that's what I'm not happy about. I'm not happy about them being in Celtic Park anytime. But I'm definitely not happy with that Celtic had to end something that they Muppets started.
Yeah, they couldn't handle the celebrations, could they? All right, John, there's not much more we can say about that. It's going to happen, and that's it. We just need to live with it. You know, Rangers come to Paradise in a couple of weeks, less than a couple of weeks. And if we take care of Rangers at Celtic Park, John, it'll be brilliant to see their faces, you know, with Celtic celebrating another title. So I suppose that's one way of looking at it.
There's all sorts of ways you can look at it, but I'm one-track minded, Xander. My mind is firmly focused on why did we end the thing that they started. I'm really angry with that. I'm just really angry with Celtic. Just, you know, right, you never allowed us back into Ibrox the last game. They won 3-0 because the stadium wasn't safe. But we're allowing them into Celtic Park. No, they started it. And if any fans were going to be allowed back into any stadiums, it should have been the Celtic fans allowed back into Ibrox as the first event with both sets of fans in the stadium. And Celtic got it all wrong, in my opinion. They should have just kept it as it is, 0-0. I'm disgusted with it, to be honest with
you. Yeah, that's it. Everybody's got their opinions and views, John, and that's fair enough. There's a lot of people not happy with it, and I'm one of them as well.
Well, I'm going to read the final comments, Xander. We know what our feelings are on it, and I think most Celtic fans are basically the same. There is a few, they're happy to see them back. I don't know why. Let me know if you want Rangers fans back in Celtic Park, and let me know why, because I'll be the one that's bamboozled with this. We would never sell our club for the final comments, Xander. We would never sell our club, says, it will be very interesting to see in the event that there is trouble from Sefco fans at Paradise, will they then abandon the allocation for Celtic fans going to Ibrox? Now, this is something I was thinking about as well. What if there is trouble at Celtic Park and Rangers say, oh, no, there's too much trouble, we don't want these back, and they get a free shot at Celtic with fans in the stadium?
Yeah, as you say, John, anything's possible. You know, they'll be in that wee, corner watching Celtic celebrate, and that's what the whole thing was about in the first place. They stopped Celtic fans going to Ibrox because they couldn't handle Celtic celebrating at Ibrox. So now the same thing's going to happen. Roles reversed. They're going to watch Celtic celebrate another title at Paradise. So what reaction are we going to get from them? That's a brilliant comment, actually, John. And then if there is trouble, then there may not be any Celtic fans at Ibrox in the last fixture. The dead rubber fixture, John, at Ibrox. So yeah, John, great comment there. We're just going to wait and see what happens.
Well, no long to wait, is there? The next league game is the Derby game. We've just got to wait and see what happens, like he says. Will they behave themselves? Will Celtic players be taking a corner and suddenly there's a buckfast bottle chucked off a Celtic player's head? Because that's what I expect from them. But, and also wrecking the stadium every time they're there as well, you know. They'll be in the toilet smashing them up, costing hundreds of £1,000s worth of damage, hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of damage. They do it every time they're in Celtic Park, and that's why I'm bewildered why Celtic decided to let them back in. It's totally mind-boggling, and like we would never sell our club says, we need to wait and see what happens, because the return game at Ibrox could be back to 0-0 again, and I wouldn't put it past them to do that, would you?
No. No, if they could stop, you know, over a century, Celtic fans and Rangers fans gone to each other's stadiums, John, and they put an end to it because they couldn't handle the parties, the celebrations. You know, there was no fan ban at Celtic Park in the 90s when they were coming to Celtic Park and celebrating, you know, winning all their league titles, John, back in the 90s. There was no fans banned from Celtic Park when they were celebrating. So, you know, it comes to the 2000s, 2010s and 20s. Celtic are celebrating. They banned the supporters from Ibrox, John, because they can't handle it. It's absolutely disgusting. And now we're in this position, John. Now we're in this situation where, and even the allocation, isn't it right? 4% for each stadium. It's no Celtic's fault that Celtic have got a bigger and better stadium than Ibrox. That's not our problem. You know, so why are we now 300, 400 fans less than what Rangers are getting at Celtic Park? It is not right, John. It doesn't sit right with me whatsoever. But yet again, there's nothing we can do about it.
Well, this is it. And the good thing about them, there's nothing good about them coming to Celtic Park. Absolutely nothing. Let me just clear that up. But the only good thing is they'll still be in that wee corner, because that wee corner holds enough, you know, fans for their allocation.
Yeah.
So they'll still be stuck in that wee corner. I'm just disgusted with it. Just disgusted with it. Aye. Don't like to end the podcast on that kind of note, but it's just something. I spoke about it the last time. I don't want them back in Celtic Park. I don't want them anywhere near Parkhead. Just aye, disgusting. I'm ain't happy with it.
All right, John. Okay, that's it then. we won't leave it on a sad note, because we're 16 points clear at the top of the league. Absolutely brilliant for the Celtic lads. Brilliant performance against St Mirren. Well done to Motherwell as well. Good luck to Fenerbahce on Thursday night. But we've got the big preview of the Hibs game on Friday night, folks. We're going to do a preview of that on Friday / Saturday, depending on when we want to do it, because the game's not to Sunday, so there's plenty of time there. But we'll do the preview at the weekend anyway of the big Hibs quarter final, John. Just a wee quick word on that before we go then. It's a very tasty fixture, John, but I think with Celtic in the form we're on just now, we should be too strong for Hibs. We'll be looking for a wee bit of revenge as well. It's a very tasty game, John. We just need to tighten up that defence a wee bit.
Hibs have got a lot of good players in their team. I was watching them against Hearts and I was thinking, they've got a lot of good players, but they shouldn't be scoring 2 goals past Celtic, that Hibs team. They really shouldn't. Their players aren't that good. But they have got a lot of good players in their side, but Celtic are just way above them in terms and level of ability, and Celtic should be taking care of that at Parkhead. Even though there's going to be 6,000 Hibs fans there, that shouldn't make a jot of difference. No jot of difference. A jot of difference.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't. I think Celtic would be too strong for them, to be honest with you. I think, like you says, I think Celtic will be looking for a wee bit of revenge against them. I don't think they deserve to beat us at Easter Road. And I think they started the game well. Celtic very unlucky getting the goal chopped off that wasn't out the park. The ball never crossed the line. All that stuff. That could have been a different story, that game, if that goal was correctly given. But
Yeah.
aye, it's a tasty game. Let's make no mistake, it's going to be a good game. And it'll be good to see 6,000 Hibs fans there, because I don't think I've ever seen that at Celtic Park.
No, I don't think I've ever seen it either. But no, that's for the weekend then, John. That's we're all looking forward to that. No game for Celtic in midweek this week, unfortunately. So we'll not be back to the weekend, folks.
Well, you're going to say unfortunately, but I'm glad there's no game this week, because Celtic players really need the rest.
Yeah, I know what you're saying about the rest, John, but we're also flying without the rest. So we just need to hope that, the players. I mean, there's nobody out injured or anything like that apart from the big man Trusty. John, he picked up his knock, so it gives him a full week to try and recover from that, I suppose, doesn't it? And then the rest, as you say, the rest of the boys can get some extra rest into their legs, John, for the big semi-final. All right, John. Okay, that wraps it up. The day that was good. Good wee bit we went through there, an hour and 6 minutes. Very interesting stuff there, John. So we'll catch you all on Friday / Saturday, folks. Remember, hit that subscribe, like and share button as well if you don't mind. That would be appreciated. And we'll catch you, John, at the weekend for the big preview.
Catch you later, Sander. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, buddy. Hail, buddy.